Evening all, welcome to Tactics. Right, we're going to continue our gunning, I guess, montage here. Count how many tanks we kill, count how many things we kill, and, you know, it's interesting stuff. Hopefully you're enjoying these, because I think this is a real great, this is almost like a masterclass of how to use certain things in the game. And we've shown this a number of times. I mean, we've always shown generally quite clever things that people do, and I think certainly some of the old tanking videos we did was obviously with some of the gooder tankers in the game, better than me, and they're always quite interesting. But this, to me, is I think one of the really quite more refreshing things, because it is using the game as it should be used. It's not exploitative. It's not overpowered. It's actually just how the game was meant to be. And in modern warfare, I hate to use an IRL metaphor here, but or rather simile, but you know, the reality is that dropships and helicopters and things like that, they are the bane of the ground force. And I think dropships are naturally very weak. Look at the hit points on this thing. It's a one shot from a breach forge gun, but look at the output of damage it can do. Booyah. And that's really what, again, dropships are meant to do. I love the fact that, you know, a group of people working together with good comms, really kind of, you know, concentrating and knowing what they're doing, can do this kind of just astronomically high amount of damage very quickly and very succinctly. It really is almost a tactical strike, effectively. It isn't easy as it looks as well, because I tried to do this with me flying the dropship, and you have to really be careful. It is very difficult to do, so, you know, don't underestimate this. But I would encourage more people to try this. Just get some dudes, some brosefs who you can trust and can gun. They do need Python skills quite high to get the rate of fire that we're showing here, but once you do, effectively you're firing a massive amount of damage down, and, you know, you're using the game's mechanics as they're intended to be used to get an advantage. So this is where skill, both of the player and skill of the character, really do form together. So look at that, we killed a Soma. Now again, these are all untanked tanks. I have to stress that point, because the point here is that they don't see us coming, right? They don't assume we can do this. And most of the time, so many people just throw 70k ISK on a tank, and they think that it's unfair when I don't know, a 1 million ISK suit or dropship or tank kills them. It's just, you know, it's ridiculous to think that there's even a comparison or even an argument to be made there. Which is sadly the truth. So here we go. You know, effectively this tactic is really based upon using the skills both of the character and the player. It just does a phenomenal amount of damage, and as you can see, just, you know, good solid gunning as well is needed. So, you know, we've done this before with less skilled gunners, and they're not getting the same sort of rate of fires and hit points and the effectiveness as you see here. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's OP. Well, it's not, and you're wrong, and just, you know, stop it. It's fun to do these things as well. I mean, every game has got these things. Like Titanfall has got these, you know, very powerful mechanics. Not powerful, they're not unbalanced. They're, you know, they're designed to be powerful. So if you fit a particularly good fit, it's exactly like this game used to be with tanks. If you get a tanker who's incredibly good at tanking and has a very good fit, then they're going to be quite difficult to kill, or they're going to be very powerful. We have done numerous attempts at this where we get shot down by a redline railgunner. One dude in a 70k ISK tank ends it all. So this is why we're showing you this footage, because it's a rarity that this tactic works. Now, I am encouraging people to come and try this, because, you know, it is good fun, I promise you. But the reality is that it's only just one 70k ISK asset away from being wiped out at any point. And you can see they're calling in tanks to come kill us anyway. And it's just because we're able to see them, and we're just lucky as well. Luck is always a massive part of gaming, I'm afraid to say. Luck is, you know, is central to gaming all the time. Like, it really is. I always like the fact that in Fallout 3 and others, that, you know, luck was a statistic that you could you could actually change. Because to me, luck is just luck as it stands. We're losing the match. It's not going particularly well. We're not really benefiting the group. Yeah, these are all things you can say, and I'm sure you are going to say, but at the end of the day, we don't care. We were just running as a group of 3, and we're having a bit of fun. And I think this is kind of the desire of a lot of people at the game now is they don't really care if they're winning or losing, because what's the difference? The reality is that they would rather just try a tactic or try a fit or something like that. And we had a good few games recently where we were trying some scout suits and, you know, scanning scout suits, things like that, and they seemed quite good. And you know, I think there's a lot of an argument, or rather there is a very strong argument, to have some kind of corp battle mode return. I say this a lot, so apologies if you heard this before from another video. I was talking about this in Titanfall recently, is that every so often when you play these games, you get to a natural point in the game, usually when you've just been stomped by a very good side, that you think to yourself, oh, I want to go do something else now. And you think to yourself, well, you know, I'll go and play a different game mode. Or you think to yourself, I'll go and do this. Or you think to yourself, like most people do, I'm going to switch this bloody thing off now. And that's always a bad thing, because you want more people playing your game as much as possible. So to me, the whole PvE stroke commander mode stroke whatever we're going to call this thing, yes, that tank has flipped upside down. Isn't that the funniest thing you've seen? But again, untanked 70k Seeker, don't feel that anything powerful is being lost here. These are stupid people losing tanks stupidly because they have brought in a stupid militia tank, thinking that it's like, I don't know, God's right hook, and it ain't, bro. And I think this is, anyway, returning to my topic, the issue I have with a lot of the game is it gets on my nerves when there's kind of a, you know, there's nothing else to do other than just keep fighting the same group of people that matchmaking keeps putting you into, and it gets very, 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 very painful after a while. So much so that people just log off and do something else. They'll go and play another game. And this is funny, really, because, you know, gaming before, it's a fascinating thing. Ask yourself this question: how many games do you play per week? You know, how many different games do you play? I think a lot of Dusties play one game, and that's Dust. Or Eve, maybe, but that's the reality. Whereas most of the people I play with certainly have, you know, a dozen games on the go. Titanfall, Project Zomboid, Space Engineers, Eve, you know, you name it, it's out there, and people are playing it. And this is the fun that people that gaming brings you. Is it's a multi-leveled hobby that you decide what you want to go and do. And to not have some ability to escape the complete pains in the arse that generally keep coming up in these kind of games has got to be addressed. And this is why I promote to you that corp battles must return. Don't have to give an ISK payout, doesn't have to give a skill point payout. Just give us something that we can escape from the same tryhards. And I mean, everybody must have the same feeling as us. Even some of the best players in the game, well, with exception, must get bored of this game. There must be, you know, they must literally sit there and think, oh, well, you know, I'm going to keep playing this game over and over and over. No, surely not. They must think to themselves, I'm bored of this now. There must be something else that they would rather do. And to me, it could be, right, let's go and get 10 dropships, line them up in a row, and see if we can jump an LAV over them. Am I the only one who thinks this? I must be one of the few people in this game who actually wants to do stupid shit like this. I don't care about winning, because, you know, winning to me is not something I need to get from a game. That's a stupid place to get success and reward. It really is. You want to try and you play a game to relax and enjoy yourself and be competitive, yes, but not look for a win, you know, regardless. No, absolutely. And I think this is kind of the challenge that I have with Dust at the time, is that it's just really too much, you know, nonsense within the game, and you just want to actually get beyond it. So there we go. Interesting one. Gunning is fun. I would say dropships and tanks are fun. I would say that all the suits that are coming in 1.8 are going to be fun as well. So really mix up your playstyle and really revitalize your love of this game by trying something a bit bloody different. And I think a lot of you will actually find that there is a much deeper game here than you maybe realized. I generally try and do this. I get bored very easily, so I try and mix up and make the game different every time I play it. And I tell you what, it does wonders for the soul. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.